And I already asked you to change the wording, correct? Did I make sure I told you that, right? So uh, basically the most important part today is the bottom part. Okay, that little bar at the bottom, that's the one I need you to understand. Okay, so we have a monthly payment here. Hold on. Uh, Study sheets, folks. I'm not going to tell you, like, you need to figure it out on your own, but you should have some kind of organization happening there. And you shouldn't be using the whole thing because it's going to build, right? So if you go through my booklet, we talked about new, right? There's depreciation, there's all kinds of stuff. We talked about use, there's use private, use dealer. Finance is on page 15. There's a bunch of formulas there. So you can't say I didn't warn you, right? Like I've been telling you over and over, even if you don't have homework, then at the very least, you should update your study sheet, okay? You will probably not be successful if you don't have your study sheet. Because those formulas are just a bonus, right? It's probably better than just having to do everything by yourselves, right? So I can only do so much and then you do the rest. Anyway, so payment, we take the 27,500, and there's a reason why I show you how to do these in a certain way, because that kind of eliminates a lot of issues down the road. So if you're thinking, oh, I can do it this way, you can, but you have to be careful. So this table rate is, I had my key here somewhere, but I'm just going to go to page 18 where that table is. And we have 4.25 over 4 years. 4.25 over 4 years, and that's 2277. That's the value I need to take with me. Okay? So 2277 per $1,000 you borrow. Let's subtract this and just write down that number. Okay, that's what I would like you to do, because this is essentially what you're borrowing, right? This is the loan. Okay? So then it's 22,500 times 2277 divided by 1,000, and that's 512.33, which is what we were expecting. Right, so we have our monthly payment, which will most likely be used later on. And then we have how much interest they will pay for their loan. So they're asking for total interest, right? Interest for the whole thing, for the whole term loan, total interest. And that is found by taking your payment, you multiply it by the number of years, in this case, a 4-year loan, and it's always times 12, minus the loan. Okay? You multiply that, 512.33 times 48, essentially, right? That gives you 24,591. And so that is your total interest paid, which does match what we were supposed to get. So no surprises there. I would still encourage you to copy this down if you haven't done it, right? Okay, so C is the types of questions that all of the explain and justify, those are worth 1 mark here, 1 mark there. And let's say it's a test out of 40 and you have 6 of those show up, or let's say 4 of those show up. 4 out of 40 is 10%, right? So if you don't answer those, you lose 10% right away, boom, right? I call them easy marks. So if you have paid attention and you have something on your study sheet, you should be able to score there. And so this is kind of hints towards a question where you have to explain. Okay, so if they went with a 1-year loan instead of 4, how would their monthly payments and the interest paid change? Explain, right? You may use calculations if you want. We won't because we already did that at the beginning. So let's talk about the monthly payment first. So you should write this down. The monthly payment, it will increase since you are paying off the same amount over a shorter time frame. Okay, so the monthly payment will increase, right? Because it's a shorter time frame. That's the key there. And your total interest paid, what will happen to the total interest paid if you pay it off faster? What do you think is going to happen? Up or down? Less, I heard somebody say less interest. Yes, you will pay less interest because you're paying it off faster. Think of it this way, the longer you take, the more they're going to penalize you, the more they're going to make money off of you. That's why credit cards, if you have a credit card, there's that minimum payment. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. If you paid that, it would take you years, if not decades, to pay off that amount. They love that because if you were to take that long, you would pay tons of interest. So if you pay off faster, that means you have to pay more, right? To pay it off faster and pay less interest. So total interest will go down, right? And will decrease since there is less time to charge interest. That's basically the bottom line. There's less time to charge you that interest, so right, you're paying it off faster. So how about this? This is basically saying if the term goes down, the monthly payment will go up, the total interest will decrease. Okay? There's a relationship between the three, right? If the term goes up, your monthly payment will go down, but the total interest paid will go up. Okay? Calculate the interest paid in the first month. Okay? I'm going to highlight that. First month's payment. That's lowercase I they're asking you for. That's a key word there, folks. That's not just random, right? You take the loan, and the loan was way up here, right? When you subtract the down payment, that's how much you need to borrow. So you take that, you multiply it by the interest rate, which is 4.25%, and you divide that by 12. So it's 22,500 times 0.0425 divided by 12. Okay, that is 79.69, which is what I gave you anyways, but this is how you calculate that. And watch this. This is the part that I probably didn't emphasize enough. So there's going to be a bunch of arrows here. If you don't have those arrows, you're not going to know how to do it when you look at it later on. You're going to be like, which came first, right? But if you consider your monthly payment, this is the payment we calculated up there, which is 512.33. Write that down, okay? If this represents the whole payment, our first payment, let's say, this number is what goes in here. You just calculated the interest portion of your payment, and then you're going to use this to figure out that, right? Because it's kind of like if this is 512, take away this chunk to get the rest. So we're going to go 512 33 minus 79.69. So 512, 33, 432.64. Okay, so this is important to understand. This is the first month only. So every payment has these, right? And the payment never changes, but these components do change. Okay. So how about this? We make an arrow go there, so you know, right? You just calculated that portion, which is then going to give you the principal of the payment. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna leave 21 for today, page 21, but I will give you the answers as you're working. I want you to write down at the bottom of this page. This is what page 4 looks like. Financing a car loan review questions. This is where your knowledge of this section is going to come to light, okay? Do you understand how loans work and what needs to be done when and where? So I want you to be smart consumers. So I want you to be able to look at different offers. 1 second, okay? Look at different offers. So is it offer A or is it offer B? Is it Cambrian or is it RBC? Which one should I go with? How can I compare them? So for this particular case, this purchase, you're going to have to do 2 separate calculations all the time. And then on page 5, you get reintroduced to buying used private, used dealer, all of that stuff to review for tomorrow. This answer key will be posted on Google Classroom as a PDF. So if you want to look at the worked out answer, that's where it will be, okay? So you have half an hour, a bit less to do this. So I'll give you that time. Just use it wisely, okay? All right.